Hey guys, so this is Enlisted, a first-person shooter World War II game by the people who created War Thunder. It's currently in open beta right now and can be downloaded from enlisted.net. So I'll try to put a link in the description. I've been playing it for a few hours over the past couple days and have been really enjoying it, so I wanted to share my thoughts about it. This first clip is me playing as the Axis, or as the Germans, using the Kar 98. Playing Conquest, which is just capturing and holding points, more like other games, Domination, because there's only 3 points to hold in this Conquest, on the map called Chateau du Bosque. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I believe that that's in France, according to Google. So, as I've mentioned, it's a free World War II first-person shooter game, and it reminds me a lot of Heroes and Generals. Speaking of which, I'm not entirely sure what happened to that game, but I haven't heard about it in a while. So, anyway, Enlisted is quite interesting, and I'd argue better than Heroes and Generals. The main game mode is called Squads, and that is what I have footage of in this video. It's a PvP and PvE game mode, where yes, you play against real players, but also AI enemies too. Squads is kind of confusing, at least to me, but I'm going to try to explain it. Essentially, you're the commander of a squad, and every respawn, you go to a different member of your squad. So all your squad is playing at all times, one controlled by you and the other's controlled by AI. You respawn to one of your squad members so you can stay in the action throughout the game. As far as I've experienced, that is kind of the gist of it. I would take that as you will, since you're playing against AI, and they are really not the brightest, as I have a clip shortly showing what I mean. There's another game mode I just unlocked called Lone Fighters, but I don't have footage of that here, where you use one soldier at a time and no AI squad. It's definitely a better, more superior game mode in my opinion, but you have to play a few hours to unlock it first, as it is free to play. Oh, and planes suck. I hate them so much, they're so annoying, and I just wanted to add that in here right now. The game overall is beautiful and quite bright and vibrant, as I think Heroes and Generals had a more dark and bland color scheme to it on every map. It runs quite well too, as the graphics aren't top of the line, but good enough to look pretty, and I care more about it honestly just running on any kind of system. The gunplay is pretty simple, but controls and movements are a bit clunky and stiff. But again, it's not a AAA game, so it's not to be expected. I've really only used the snipers, as they're almost a one-shot kill every single time. Since the maps are pretty spread out and open, it's kind of pointless, in my opinion, to use a submachine gun or anything else, at least on the maps that I've played so far. Additionally, the gun sounds are decent. The overall volume of the game is pretty loud, especially when there's tons of enemies and friendlies around. Sniping is quite satisfying, especially at longer ranges with the iron sights, and that provides more of a challenge, but it makes it a lot more satisfying. Also, side note, you can't shoot teammates, by the way, which is a good thing. I thought it was kind of hardcore where you could shoot your teammates, but thankfully not. I tested it out just to be sure. The map design is also pretty simple. It's quite open, at least in Conquest, with 3 capture points that are more built up areas with buildings around it, just so the combat's a little bit more tense in those areas. But it's nothing really complex, and the building I'm in right now just has kind of a couple doors around, not really much cover. It's quite open, but it's just pretty basic. Overall, it's a really fun game, kind of easy to get into and do well, especially with the OK AI, but that's a nice concept. I just think it needs improvement. It's simple, kind of clunky and stiff with the gunplay and animations, as I'm sure you've seen in this video. It has a battle pass system, like most games nowadays. You just have to play to unlock more weapons and more game modes and such, so it just takes time. But I don't think it's pay to win from what I've seen yet. Obviously, after playing more hours, that's when it'll really show. So it definitely takes a little bit of time to figure that out. And the menu with how your squad works is kind of confusing, but my thought is, if you just ignore all of that, you do the tutorial, you play a couple games, play a couple hours, you will just learn as you go, and if you just enjoy having fun playing the game, you will learn how the squad system works. I don't fully understand it, because you can send your guys off to training to have better ranks, to get better specializations, etc. I don't know how all of that works. I don't think it really matters, but the more you play, the more you learn, and I think that's what makes it really fun and better than Heroes and Generals. This right here is where the AI is kind of dumb. My aim was terrible here, but he focused on another person, but I was definitely a greater threat being right next to him, but he never turned to shoot me. Do think the AI needs a little bit of work, and it's pretty easy to kill these guys. And it's pretty easy to tell which ones are AI and which ones aren't. I really enjoyed it. It's different and something to play occasionally, and to kind of hold me over to Battlefield 6. I'd rather still keep playing the Battlefield games. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next adventure.